Hello everyone. After giving some speech on subsistence farmers in developing countries, I would like to continue by proposing an agri-food model that can be employed in countries of which farming sector is fragmented and scattered in small scales. As we all know, the industrial development cannot happen wholly without required development in agricultural sector, as clearly indicated in the stage of development theory of Rousseau. Instead of a linear model, our agri-food model is based on an interactive networking approach. This model consists of two main instruments. One of them is mostly based on an acceleration program. However, it is differentiated from current accelerator programs in practice with some ways. First, there is no typical training programs for a certain time of period. Instead, this model encourages tailor-made trainings for each farmer and each traditional food firms, and mainly intervene the problematic area where the prototypes are not mostly commercialized. So it is designed to enable promising early stage entrepreneurs above TRL 4 to quickly scale up their business by perfecting their business ideas and models. In this model, mentoring, training, and a very limited financial support for some basic needs are employed. The second instrument I would like to mention is totally based on mentoring and agricultural extension services, which is a problematic area in most developing countries. Through this instrument, farmers, particularly subsistence farmers, are encouraged to change their varieties and methods that they use in order to increase their yields. In fact, we would like to develop an entrepreneurship capability of those farmers and increase their resilience to climate change. When we look at the main characters of those farmers, we see clearly that they are risk-averse and hesitate to try the new varieties and methods, as they would like to be in a safer area by continuing to keep their current practices for the sake of losing profit maximization in their farm. The critical point is here how we can draw the farmers' attention to use new technologies and methods. At this stage, it is important to identify the exact needs of farmers and traditional food firms. So, the tiny touches would bring bigger impacts in this traditional sector. On the other side, there is a growing demand for agri-food sector by investors and entrepreneurs, particularly startups. But smart agriculture has many components. A startup could only solve a small part of the problem of a farmer, particularly of subsistence farmers. So, developing some cooperation among startups play an essential role to combat with chronic agricultural problems of developing countries. When we look at the traditional food firms, regardless how big capital they have, we clearly see the traditional practices. So, what we develop here is that how we can transfer the know-how to traditional food firms with the help of startups. Consequently, the model is taking place in the middle of somewhere, top-down and bottom-up approaches. The model is not limited only with farmers and food firms. It strongly encourages to develop vertical and horizontal cooperation among startups, agricultural cooperatives, farm unions, local institutions, state research institutes, and universities.